Nigeria and Turkey have pledged to deepen cooperation on security, trade and defense, with a particular focus on supporting Nigeria's fight against terrorism. Now, the commitment was announced during President Bola Tinubu's ongoing state visit to Turkey, which has seen the signing of 9 bilateral agreements following full ceremonial honors in Ankara. From the Turkish Presidential Palace, Arise State House correspondent Adesuwa Monra reports.
On the tight security and full state honors, President Bola Tinubu is welcomed to Turkey's Presidential Palace with a guard of honor and 21-gun salute. During the ceremony proceedings, President Tinubu briefly tripped over the blue carpet rolled out to welcome him, stumbling over an obstacle but quickly regained his footing and continued with the program, an incident that did not disrupt the schedule. The two leaders then moved into closed-door talks, followed by an expanded bilateral meeting involving senior ministers and security officials from both countries. Emerging afterwards, the president witnessed the signing of a series of cooperation agreements between Nigeria and Turkey.
The Federal Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odimeko Ojukwu, will be exchanging the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the field of media and communication between the government of the Republic of Turkey and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In total, 9 formal agreements were signed, covering defense cooperation, trade and investment, media and communications, higher education, diaspora affairs, women and social services. Others are diplomatic training and establishment of a joint economic and trade committee, a framework expected to boost bilateral trade and manufacturing links. Briefing the press, President Tayyip Erdogan describes Nigeria as a strategic partner and confirmed Ankara's commitment to support Abuja in its fight against terrorism, while expanding defense and intelligence cooperation.
Terrorist organizations emerging, particularly in Africa's Sahel region, unfortunately pose a threat to the peace of the entire continent. We stand by the friendly people of Nigeria in their fight against terrorism under the leadership of President Tinubu. In fact, today, we addressed opportunities for closer cooperation in the fields of military training and intelligence.
President Tinubu, in his remarks, thanked Turkey for its openness and readiness to collaborate. He highlights Nigeria's central role in African stability, warning that insecurity on the continent has global consequences, and said partnerships like these are essential to restoring peace, prosperity, and opportunity, particularly for vulnerable populations.
How do we build an inclusive economy together? That's what we discuss. How do we reform and get everybody, vulnerable people in particular, involved in our economies? How do we develop this country, give peace and stability to the world, and particularly the necessary peace and stability of the continent of Africa?
Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs also addressed the agreement, highlighting the Memorandum of Understanding on Foreign Affairs Academy by both countries.
The President has always maintained that terrorists understand no other language but defeat. And we're very happy that Turkey has been able to come on board, not just in areas like enhancing our joint economic commission, in increasing the volume of our trade, also in partnering in other areas, technical assistance, especially for the youth of Nigeria. We have a huge youth demographic, and Turkey is committed to capacity building, skills acquisition programs for our teeming youth.
Attention now turns to implementation and how quickly these commitments translate into action following what both sides describe as a historic set of agreements. Adesuwa Monra, Arise News.
All right, for more on President Tinubu's state visit in Turkey, I'm now joined by Arise correspondent Adeswa Omora there in Ankara. Adeswa, good to see you again. Well, now that we know that President Tinubu is in great shape and gone ahead to sign a number of agreements, 9 of them between Turkey and Nigeria. I mean, how significant really are these agreements in practical terms? Because Nigerians cannot wait to see this translate from, signatures on paper to reality. Adeswa.
Thank you, Ngozi, and welcome to Ankara. The significance in these agreements is not really in the numbers, but perhaps in the partner involved, Turkey, particularly when you look at its role and its expertise in areas like defense, security, construction, energy, and a whole lot more. So you tend to, look at the messaging that the presidency has given from the get-go, that this visit was not only strategic, but it was sector-specific, with ministers on ground to drive those conversations rather than just have broad agreements with no concrete, pinpointing to what the country is getting out of it. But I'll leave the special advisor to the president on public policy communication to give you more, answer to that important question about the significance of these 9 MOUs that have been signed today. But I can tell you, Ngozi, I've also spoken to all the ministers involved in this agreement. Unfortunately, we cannot bring those interviews to our viewers tonight. We hope to bring them in our subsequent bulletins, from defense to science, innovation, and technology. By the way, those ministers are making their debut state visit with the president since they became ministers. Talking about Minister of Defense Christopher Musa, General retired, and SAN Uday, who's of the Innovation, Science, and Technology. And one recurring theme I have heard from the ministers I've spoken to tonight, Ngozi, after the ceremony, is that of implementation, timelines, and delivery. But again, I'll leave Mr. Bwala, who's joining me on set, to talk about that. Mr. Bwala joins me on set, and of course you can ask him your questions. And very quickly, to the issue about President Tinubu being in good shape. Mr. Bwala, the presidency released a comment on that. But I can tell you, Ngozi, that the focus here remained intact. There was a brief moment where the president slipped. He got back up right quickly and engagement continued. Diplomatically, it's not consequential because we did not see it interrupt the program today. And I have monitored Turkey news channels reporting on the events today. I'm yet to see them focus on that ceremonial incident that, usually would occur anywhere in the world. Mr. Bwala, you are live on the news, and Ngozi will be asking you some questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
very quickly. I mean, the same question, really. I mean, 9 agreements. Nigerians would say to
Hello,
you...
Ngozi, if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I was just about, posing my question. Mr. Bwala, I mean, good to see you. Happy New Year to you. Nigerians would say, look, all these agreements, the president just came back not too long ago.
Ngozi, sorry, Ngozi, we lost you for a moment there. If you can repeat the question.
Yes, it's not the first of President Tinubu's agreements, whether you're talking about UAE, all kinds of agreements. In this case, you now have this 9 deals with Turkey. How guaranteed are we that these agreements will not just, be on paper? How soon should Nigerians begin to see, concrete results? Mr. Bwala.
Thank you. In fact, the good point you made is what has been the concern of the president, that it is not just about discussion on agreement and areas of opportunity, but on timelines and deliverables. In fact, that dominated the focus of the bilateral talks today. Not just in the areas that we looked at, like defense, we talked about defense cooperation, security, higher education, science and technology, exchange in intelligence. But the president, he asked the question when he was giving his speech, how do we create economic opportunities for our people timelessly? How do we deal with these insurgents, terrorist people? How do we deal with them timelessly? So the president is about result and deliverables. And that is the core message, if there's anything I can say about the deliberation today, that it is very easy for us to make to have understanding with countries who are interested in investing, because if you look at Nigeria and Turkey, over the years there have been massive investment from the people and government of Turkey in Nigeria, and they have been very proactive in that. So as we seek to deepen that collaboration, the emphasis has been, like you rightly pointed out, the timelines and deliverables, so that it will not end in just signing paper, but it will end in the deliverables that people can see and know that there has indeed been an agreement that was scheduled to take place almost immediately.
And the second question, that point, I mean, the president slipped today at that reception. And, you know, are you concerned that this may overshadow the importance of this visit? How are you reassuring Nigerians that the president is indeed in excellent shape?
It's not even a question, actually. There has not been any problem. Every part of the program today was conducted based on time, and there was not a distraction in any respect. When the president was received through the guards of honor, after that he went in for bilateral talks, after which we have the counterpart of the various ministries. They had their own. Then we came in for the exchange of the various agreements. The president sat there, we had it. After that, the two presidents gave their respective speech. We went in for dinner. We finished and we left. None of the program was interrupted. I don't want to give oxygen to the lame argument about president's sleep and whether that affected the program. No, it has not. We don't want to give that much progress we have made in this program to, do I say Biapalo narrative or so? There is no problem, actually.
Daniel Bwala, thank you very much for joining us on News Night tonight. And Nigerians will be keeping an eye to see how these agreements turn out for them.